So for a while, I've been seeing my friends do these really cool theme park tag videos, where someone gives them a huge list of questions, they read off their responses, and then they tag someone else to do the same. And I was always wondering if I was ever going to get one. And lo and behold, yesterday, it finally happened. So, I get to do a tag video today, thanks to my good friends, Random Tales and Loopy Lulu, who you're going to see a lot more here on the Podcast Network. Stay tuned this week to find out what I mean by that. And they tagged me in their video, so I thought it'd be a good idea to take this video here on Wednesday to answer their tag and tag a couple people myself. So I've got their questions on my iPad. I have some ideas what I want to say because I've kind of read over the questions. I don't know if that's allowed, but I did. I didn't just like, hey, just turn the camera on. Oh my god, I'm trying to think on camera. I didn't do that. Maybe I'll do it next time. But I had to think about it a little bit because some of these questions are really involved and really hard to, snap answer. So, I had to look at them, and because I did, I probably kind of broke the rules of the tag. But, I'm still doing it. I'm still going to give you my answers, and then I'm still going to tag people in the end. So, let's get started with our first question. It says, name a scene in any Disney movie you wish you could experience. Well, there's a lot of answers to this question. A lot of really awesome scenes I could pick from. But far and away, head and shoulders above anything else would have to be Aladdin and Jasmine on the magic carpet during A Whole New World, flying over the magical city of Agrabah. This is one of the most iconic scenes I have ever seen in any movie, not just a Disney movie, and it gets me every single time. And if I was able to experience that scene, I think it would be absolutely awesome. Now, the question is, who would be my Jasmine? But yeah, it's anyone's guess. I would state right now, another thing I would like to do would to be the Beast during the ballroom dance in Beauty and the Beast, Belle and the Beast dancing, and I thought that would be incredible. Or obviously Cinderella would be a good one to be Prince Charming. There's a lot of things to come to mind. But yeah, I think those would be pretty high above on my list. There's a couple things else I could probably go with, but by and large, that's pretty much what I would go with. Number 2, name an unforgettable experience or moment you've had in the parks. Okay, I will not elaborate. I will simply say 2011. And on top of that, I will say every single time that I've been a part of a reunion event through the great people of WDW Today. I've met a lot of really awesome people because of these meetups, and they're lifelong friends I still keep in touch with to this day. Now, granted, we've gone our separate ways, and who knows if we'll ever be in the same place again, but if we are, then it's going to be magical, to say the least. I mean, these guys and girls that I met out in the parks, they became really good friends of mine. I still talk to a few of them, and like I said before, they were great moments, and I would never forget them. Plus, another thing I would have to remember was the first time I walked into the Magic Kingdom. I can't forget that, obviously. Seeing everything with fresh new eyes for the first time, it was just an incredible experience that the only way you can experience that twice in a lifetime is if you're showing someone else, whether it's your child, or whether it's a friend, or whether it's a companion, or whether it's all the above, depending on how you look at it. Now, I'm obviously not talking about all the above in the same person, but I mean, any of the above would be the right wording I'm using here. And it would basically tell me that if you're able to see it through fresh eyes of someone else, that is the way you can experience it again for the first time. And that's another thing that I highly treasure, to be totally honest. My number 3 question is, what non-Disney song or songs reminds you or brings you back to memories of Disney and or the parks in general? I don't know if this is a cop-out answer or not, but I think the first thing that comes to mind is Weird Al Yankovic has a song called Skipper Dan, which is loosely based on a Jungle Cruise skipper, which I always enjoyed. And I don't know if this one counts or not either, but I'm going to have to go with the WDW Today episode 1000 theme song, because it always brings me back to reunion. And I got some weird ones. Number 1 is Wannabe by the Spice Girls, which I remember hearing a lot during that Disney trip. And number 2, I'll never forget Snakes on a Plane by Cobra Starship, because I'm walking towards Pleasure Island. I'm heading to the Comedy Warehouse, obviously. It's my home away from home when I come to Pleasure Island. And I'm walking across the bridge, and I hear Snakes on a Plane playing, and it's just like, wow, this is crazy. I can't believe I'm actually hearing this in a Disney associated park. And granted, it's not one of the theme parks, but I mean, it's still pretty cool to actually hear that song. Kind of strange, too. And obviously, the Jeopardy theme, because the Jeopardy theme reminds me of Schmepardy, and it reminds me of my beloved Comedy Warehouse. My number 4 question is, when was your first time you went to the Disney parks? As everyone knows, I celebrated my anniversary last year of going to the Disney parks for 25 years. Now, granted, it wasn't 25 years all in a row. It was 25 years throughout the times I've been going. And my first trip was in 1990. And in 1990, I actually got to go with my mother. And we went to visit my uncle. And that was in, I believe it was Titusville, if I remember correctly. We went to Cocoa Beach, went to Ron John's Surf Shop, went to Hooters for the first time, had a great experience, and then I got to go to the Magic Kingdom, Kennedy Space Center, and Universal Studios Florida. And again, I've never looked back. And granted, the only thing I haven't experienced to this day that I experienced on that trip was Kennedy Space Center. Hopefully, somewhere down the line, I'm going to be able to make my return to that park. And granted, it's not a theme park, but it is an experience that I would like to go to again, but it's kind of hard to justify taking a day to do so. It's a little bit pricey. Just to get there, obviously. My number 5, if you could choose any Disney character to be your best friend, who would it be and why? I'm going to have to look to my cheat sheet here because I don't remember what I actually said. The first thing that pops to my mind would be Tigger. A lot of people have put me with the personality of Eeyore, and not every one of you out there knows that, but still, I mean, I do have that kind of disposition sometimes, so it would make sense it would be Eeyore, and that would connect me to Tigger. So, another one that jumps to my mind is either Sully or Mike Wazowski. I think the characters in Monsters, Inc. would fit me very well when it comes to personality, and the other one that jumps out at me is Dory, because I think Dory is just a fun character, and it'd be fun trying to play 50 First Dates with her every single time, and just... obviously not that way, but obviously when it comes down to it, it would basically be like reminding her how awesome she is time in and time out, and then having to do the same thing over and over and over again. It's, like I said, it's repetitive, but it'd still be pretty cool. That's probably the first thing that would jump to my mind. I mean, I could cop out and say one of the Disney Channel movies and go with somebody from High School Musical. I could be friends with Sharpay, but then again, if I was in the High School Musical universe, I'd want to date Sharpay, not be friends with her. But I'd probably get stuck being friends with her because I'm the friend, not the person that gets the girl. Anyway, that's too much for this time. So, but yeah, it would be something that would make sense to me. Whoops. So... and continuing that, who are your favorite Disney princesses? I'm still trying to wonder if you can count Tinkerbell or not, but that's far down my list. If I had to pick someone, obviously, the correct answers here are Belle and Cinderella and Ariel as well. So, yeah, those are easy answers, and Rapunzel's on that list too. So, yeah, they're all great for different reasons, and yeah, that's all I'm saying on this video. Name a scene or moment in any Disney movie that never fails to make you cry. Good God, this is a dangerous video for me to make. First off, I'll go with the one that's not personal, and it's the one that's probably one of the most emotional scenes and sequences I've ever seen in an animated film, and that would be the opening sequence of Up. I'm telling you right now, just seeing everything go from incredible to not so great to incredible again to sad story, which leads us to where we are now. It's just so sad. It really is. And I watched Up again when I was on the Disney Fantasy. We actually did one of those days where they actually put the movie on the big screen. So I was actually around the swimming pool, and I was able to watch the movie. And then I got out of the pool and I sat on a deck chair and I just watched Up, and it just reminds me of a lot of great memories. Another thing I would say right now, the finale of Toy Story 3, just Andy going to college, it's just, oh my gosh, it's just, I remember watching it the first time, and it's just like, oh, the waterworks just started immediately. A Whole New World, yes, obviously, I mentioned it in the question previous, and I'm going to mention it again. Just that whole sequence, the Whole New World sequence right there, it works perfectly. And it always gets to me. So This Is Love from Cinderella. That always gets me. Beauty and the Beast, like I said, the ballroom dance with Belle and the Beast every single time just hits me at the right spot. And Once Upon a Dream from Sleeping Beauty. It's always one that is always going to have a special place in my heart. So the first Disney movie that I remember seeing. What's the first movie I remember seeing? I would have to say Dumbo here. I don't recall much about like early Owen years, but I do recall like bits and pieces of it. So it's kind of like I have a selective memory when it comes to certain things. But the thing is, I remember clearly remember Dumbo. I clearly remember Pinocchio. Clearly remember Peter Pan, and I remember watching Herbie the Love Bug. So yeah, my dad was really huge fan of Herbie the Love Bug. So I watched all the Love Bug movies. And obviously nowadays I ended up watching Fully Loaded too, and just, gotta make some missteps every once in a while. What is your favorite Disney movie? My favorite Disney movie has to be Aladdin. It always has been. I think as I'm growing on in years, I would probably say that I can stick to anything that Pixar does. I love Pixar. I think Pixar and Disney have like a perfect match, and everything that they've ever done, save one major thing that I'm actually going to mention in a minute. Yeah, they've been gold, Jerry Gold, and I love Beauty and the Beast. I love Cinderella, and some great stuff there. Who's your favorite Disney villain? Knowing me, like you probably know me, you probably wonder why Jafar is my favorite Disney villain, given the fact that the irony is he turns into a snake, which everyone knows I don't like. But I think Jafar is a perfect heel. I think he'd be amazing. I think he just looks awesome, and I like Iago, as Gilbert Gottfried was a perfect connection for Jonathan Freeman, and I'll tell you right now, it was just a great combo, and I just love the character. Love me some Captain Hook. I love Dr. Facilier. I mean, granted, he's a newer character, but I love Dr. Facilier. I'm very glad they're using him in the parks now. And another one, big one for me is Syndrome, obviously. I'm a big Jason Lee fan, and I think Syndrome is a very awesome character that I really wish they could have went more into. Another one that's newer would be Lotso. Yeah, Ed Beatty in Toy Story 3. Lotso hugging bear. It smelled like strawberries. It was amazing. I just love that character. Such a great heel. And getting his comeuppance at the end, but basically being turned over a new leaf at the end. I thought that worked really well. Least favorite Disney movie. I hate the Cars franchise. I think the Cars franchise suck. Straight up. I will say right now, those movies are terrible. They're poorly made. And the only good things that came out of them, honestly, the only good things that came out of them were a few songs on the soundtrack. I'm looking at you, Rascal Flatts and Brad Paisley. And on top of that would be the Cars Land section of California Adventure and the Cars portion of Art of Animation. Because I just don't like the franchise. I never have. I don't like the offset of planes. I'm surprised we don't have like a boats or a train or automobiles. Yeah, you knew it was going that way because obviously you have cars, so technically we'd have planes, trains, and automobiles. Yeah. The thing is, that's just one of those things that just pop into my head. That's what happens when you don't have a script to work off of. I'm just kind of going by the seat of my pants right now. And my touring plane shirt that I'm rocking. My favorite Disney song, Whole New World. So many times in life, A Whole New World has been important to me, and always has been, and always will be. It was actually going to be a song that was a secret for, wink wink, for everything working out, if you will. And another one I'm never gonna forget. It's weird, because I'm not a fan of Hercules. I never really was into Hercules, but, I Won't Say I'm in Love is a song that always hits me. It's very strange I'd say that, but it's just how it is. Whole New World is definitely like head and shoulders above everything else. It's got to be a lot of the stuff from High School Musical. I like that stuff, obviously. I like it a lot. A lot of really solid songs in the Disney catalog when it comes to actual great soundtracks. So yeah, I could speak all day about Disney music, but yeah, A Whole New World is easily my favorite song. What Disney character is my personality, or what would be my dream personality? Well, my personality would probably be Eeyore, or Carl Fredricksen, because a lot of people that know me, think I'm a little bit of a curmudgeon, and I'm a little bit like salty every once in a while, and I kind of see the world with not the greatest eyes sometimes. But I mean well, and I'm a good person, so there's that. Again, that's what people were saying. I don't know what people think of me. Just what others have said. Like I said, I try to do what I can. I think those characters are pretty awesome. What I really like to be, I'd like to be Aladdin, because I think Aladdin is a great character, and a great character overall. I mean, he gets the girl in the end. He doesn't have to change himself. Well, forever in order to get the girl in the end, and it's just an awesome character. I've always liked Aladdin, always will like Aladdin, and that's the reason why when I was a preteen, I wrote a version of the Aladdin story to be performed as a play for underclassmen. Like, I think I was in, I don't know, like fifth or sixth grade, fifth, sixth, seventh grade. Yep, time's kind of rolling. And we performed for like third, fourth graders, something like that. We did a version of Aladdin. It was great. I was Aladdin. It was awesome. We used a magic carpet, which was basically a gym mat, and we pushed it. And it was funny because one of the greatest things, we're singing A Whole New World. Everything's great, going wonderful. It's getting emotional. And the next thing you know, the people that were pushing the mat, they were about ready to hit the children. They're like, oh no, we're going to hit the kids. And it just kind of just took everyone out of the moment. But the show must go on. So yeah, it's just a weird story. A weird story I don't think I've told anybody here on the videos. You can change any scene in any Disney movie. What would it be and why? Like I said, I like Syndrome. I would not have killed him off in the first Incredibles movie. Not knowing there was going to be a sequel, hoping, but not knowing then there was going to be a sequel, I would have let him stick around and be the sequel villain, and maybe have him get captured in the first movie and have him break out of jail for the second movie and have him team up with someone else and have him basically pull the puppet strings for someone new, and they go after the Incredibles, and of course the Incredibles triumph in the end. I think that would be really cool. But yeah, I wouldn't have killed Syndrome. Come on, it's Jason Lee. Jason Lee already has enough heat because of the Chipmunk movies. You don't want to kill him off. Seriously. And my number 15 question, the final one. If you had to get stuck on any Disney park ride for more than 30 minutes, so what would it be and why? I have been stuck on Buzz Lightyear, and I would enjoy being stuck on Buzz Lightyear if I were able to still get points. Because last time it happened, they turned off the mechanism. It's like, yeah, you can still shoot, but you weren't getting any points. So I know it's a cheap way to get a high score, but oh well. 30 minutes of my time, of course I'm going to want something out of it. Same thing with Toy Story Mania. That would be the exact same situation. Don't want to get stuck on the Haunted Mansion. I could imagine going backwards and getting stuck there. Don't want to get stuck on a roller coaster. That would not be fun. Don't want to get stuck on any dark ride that would stick that song into my head, like what happened to Tim and Jen on Pirates of the Caribbean. It's just, I would have to go with the Carousel of Progress. Why? Because 30 minutes of the Carousel of Progress, number one, I could probably start MST3K'ing the show. Number two, I'd at least be sitting down. And number three, I'd be out of the rain or any sort of weather situation. I'd be indoors, have a roof over my head. I'd be seated and I couldn't go anywhere, but at least I'd be able to text or tweet or shoot a video right here for you guys on a podcast network, and everything would be great, grand, and wonderful. So yeah, that is my Disney challenge. And I guess I got to tag a couple people at the end. I'm going to tag Travis Coaster, who his podcast, the People Mover podcast, with at WDW Words, or Walt Disney Words, is what I'm guessing it is, WD Words, and that's on Twitter. That podcast was last night, and if you want to check it out, you can check it out on Travis's social media. It's at Travis Coaster, and I think that would be a good person I can tag here. Makes perfect sense. Otherwise, I'm going to tag my good friend Liz. Yeah, she just moved to Texas, so I'm going to tag her. I think she'd be a good person for this tag. And last but certainly not least, I'm going to go with Ashley. Ashley the Seeker. Yeah, I think she would be a good person I can tag here. And hopefully, if you send me your tag videos, I can see what they are, so we can start this tag chain. It'd be fun. So that's what we've got for today. That's your video for Wednesday. If you haven't yet, go back and check out the Wrestling Podcast. Obviously, the Raw one on Monday. And tonight at 9:30 p.m., we got the Wednesday Wrestling Podcast. We're talking NXT. We're talking Impact Wrestling. We're talking Lucha Underground. We're talking Ring of Honor, because that's regular now. We're going to talk about CZW, which just had a pay-per-view. We got news, rumors, Spoil SmackDown. all the wonderfulness of the Popcaster panel that's going to be coming your way later tonight. And Sip and Snack will debut its new secondary segment of the week, and that's Sip and Snack Random Flavors, starring Random Tales and Loopy Lulu. They're going to be bringing you a UK flavor of a Sip and Snack every single Thursday here on the Popcast Network. Friday, AJ's movie reviews will be tackling Green Room, which we're actually going to be watching later today, as well as Neighbors 2 and The Nice Guys. Angry Birds, where is it? You asked me. Well, due to circumstances beyond my control, we may not be able to watch Angry Birds until later in the week, so that'll be on next week's video, along with Alice and X-Men. So that's going to be next week. So Saturday, we'll bring your original Sip and Snack with yours truly, unless something happens, and that's going to be coming up on Saturday. Sunday, Brand New Versus Your Cryptic Comment is Dirty Cobb. Gaming with Ash returns on Monday, and of course, Monday brings you to the WWE Raw Popcast at 11:30, and this Sunday, Extreme Rules Popcast, 11:30 p.m. So stay tuned for more information on that. And as always, like I've been saying in every single video, if you are able to make a donation to the victims of Fort McMurray and the Alberta, Canada fires that we've had recently, then Kevin Owens and Tyler Breeze would more than appreciate you dropping a little bit. It doesn't matter if it's some or it's a lot. Every little bit helps. And it's going to help these families get back on their feet. They're trying to raise $100,000 by Sunday, so hopefully we can get them there. They almost raised $60,000 right now, so hopefully they're able to do so. And if you can't donate, then spread the word on social media, and you can help them help out others in the world. So if you want to donate, it is GoFundMe. And the GoFundMe that I've been talking about for the last several days is GoFundMe.com/22VQM7W. And that will get you to donate to the good people of Fort McMurray. So yeah, let's make Fort McMurray strong again. So that's the video for today. I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.